Hello stock gurus and welcome to another episode. Today is the 4th of January and we're going to be looking at CRiSPR Therapeutics. CRiSPR Therapeutics is the gene editing company that's working on DNA gene editing. I highly recommend you watch the Human Nature documentary on Netflix, amazing documentary that explains DNA, really well actually explains DNA, and it also explains this CRiSPR Therapeutics technology. The CRiSPR company, CRiSPR Therapeutics, ARK Investment, and Kathy Wood has been buying a lot of, and the Human Nature documentary made me very interested in this CRiSPR technology and this CRiSPR documentary and this CRiSPR stock. Last week I made a video that I'm buying CRiSPR Therapeutics, and today we're updating the video. We're going to do a technical analysis on CRiSPR to find out what's going to be happening to the price of CRiSPR for the next few months, the next few weeks, and for today's trading day, the 4th of January. I am expecting some movements up for CRiSPR today, so make sure you check that out. You'll see the exact targets further along in the video. Then we're going to go into the fundamental analysis on CRiSPR. We're going to look at the financials, the revenues, the sales of CRiSPR, how much money this company is making, what its potential is for this company. We're also going to go into my Twitter and the news to look at any major fundamental analysis and fundamental news that could be affecting the CRiSPR stock. If you're one of my 22,000 subscribers, which we hit today, big congratulations. I want to say congratulations on Bitcoin. From that video in July at $9,000, Bitcoin hit $33,000 today, which is amazing. Big congratulations for Unity, up 300% in the last few months since the IPO at $52. Match Group is up 80%, Uber is up 100%, Twitter is up 80%, Disney is up 70%, Wells Fargo is up 60%. We have just been doing absolutely amazing. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. My name is James. I'm a retired multimillionaire. I was an early investor in Tesla, early investor in Match Group, the company that owns Tinder, early investor in PayPal, early investor in Uber. And now for the last 10 years, I've switched my kind of profession, or my reason, my purpose. And now it's to teach people investing, how to invest safely, the right way, with amazing gains in amazing, strong companies that can have exponential gains like Uber, also Tesla. My goal is to get you to take $1,000, invested in a company like Tesla, which I told people to buy in 2015. You have now more than 40 times your investment. So $1,000, now $40,000. Find another company like I told my students to buy at $11 match. Your $40,000 is now 14 times higher. So it's sitting at $600,000. You find another company like Unity that in 3 months has gone up 300%, and your $600,000 is 1.8 million. That's how you turn $1,000 into 1.8 million. And that's what you're going to learn to do in the Stock Guru Master Course. Everything you see in this video, if you've been losing money in the stock market, if you've been buying stocks and not getting amazing gains, or again, if you want to have millions and millions of dollars to be able to buy opulent villas like this and be able to afford everything you want, my whole goal of this channel, the reason I came out of retirement is to teach people financial literacy, teach them how to have abundance mindset. I also teach that, and how to have millions of dollars, and how to invest money the safe way to really protect your money. Rule number 1 by Warren Buffett, don't lose money. Rule number 2 by Warren Buffett, don't forget rule number 1. So investing in amazing companies that can really have huge gains. And everything you're going to see in this video, everything you're going to learn to master in the Stock Guru Master Course, www.stockguru.us. And just like I did on Christmas Day and on New Year's Day, I gave $1,000 on Christmas and $1,000 on New Year's to 2 students. After they purchased Stock Guru Master Course, I have another giveaway for a tuition. 5,000 USD is going to one of my students who purchases the Stock Guru Master Course at www.stockguru.us. Before the 1st of February, I will announce a winner on the 1st of February of 5,000 USD tuition for their stock. So they take the Stock Guru Master Course, www.stockguru.us, and someone is going to win 5,000 USD to use that knowledge that they've taken for the course to really grow that 5,000 USD. So make sure it's you. Purchase the course before the 1st of February. So let's jump into the technical analysis for CRiSPR Therapeutics now. So now we're jumping into the technical analysis for CRiSPR. Now these are a lot of the stocks that we've been following recently, which we have made huge gains in the last year, especially in 2020. Intel, I like Intel a lot because of the revenues and the financials. It's an amazing buy because of those revenues. Tesla is up massive since we started buying at $80 before the split. Now $3,500, more than 40 time gains, amazing gains for Tesla. A lot of my students caught that movement from $400 to the $640, now $700. So a lot of students caught that move, which is beautiful, made millions. A lot of students of mine bought mortgages, paid off mortgages, bought houses, paid off cars, paid off medical bills, which was great on that trade alone. PayPal is up massive since the original buy order in 2016. I was buying PayPal at $30, now $234. A lot of Also, a lot of people watched the video back when PayPal was just $140, and I made that video also. Great buys on PayPal. I also made a video on PayPal today. Make sure to check it out on the channel. PayPal is going to be making some imminent movements today, and these are the other companies we've been looking at. Twitter is up massive 100% since that original video I made. I do see massive potential for Twitter in the long run, 10, 20 times potential, 2,000%. Match is also up huge. I was an early investor in Match Group, the company that owns Tinder. I was buying it at $11, now $151. A lot of my students made massive gains on that. I made a video on Apple yesterday with the price predictions and targets for Apple. Check out that video. Airbnb is also, we bought it at the IPO. It's still around the same price as the IPO. I will be dollar cost averaging into Airbnb over the long term. Today we're going to be looking at CRISPR Technologies, CRISPR Therapeutics. Now, CRISPR Therapeutics, this is the company that has been, what this does is it works on gene editing, DNA editing. So CRISPR Therapeutics is focused on DNA editing. I made a video on this I'm buying CRISPR last week, and I'm going to make an updated video on the technicals and talk about the reason I bought CRISPR. So okay, first, if you're looking at these charts, which are beautiful, beautiful charts, they just look amazing, don't they? If you're looking at these and you're panicking, I want you to not panic. I want you to stop, take a deep breath, and just relax into this. I've taught thousands of students technical analysis, and I'm going to teach you how to do it also. You're going to really learn how to master technical analysis, which will be beautiful. I'm using a few different indicators. I'm using RSI and stochastic indicator. I'm using volume. I'm using support lines, resistance lines, blue trend lines. Now, the way these indicators, all these indicators, and to learn to set up the charts the way I have them, you can learn in the Stock Guru Master Course at www.stockguru.us. Anyone that purchases the course, $333, before the 1st of February 2021 goes in the chance for 5,000 USD for their portfolio. I'm going to give $5,000 tuition to one of my students, which will be beautiful. Now, the way these work, RSI and stochastic, when they're above the dotted lines, these lines here, it means this company is too expensive. But below the dotted lines, it means this company is too cheap. So right now, stochastic-wise and RSI-wise, it is too expensive, CRISPR, at the moment. It is, but the only thing is, it is expensive in the RSI and stochastic, meaning you have to dollar cost average if you want to buy CRISPR. Do not put a large amount of capital into CRISPR in any one go. It's better to dollar cost average into CRISPR. However, the best buying point is below the dotted lines when the company is cheap. So right now the company is expensive, CRISPR, in the long term. However, the squeeze mob indicator is still green and heading up, and the stochastic is still heading up, RSI is still heading up, so it's not turning down yet. We also have huge amounts of volume. Now, what is volume? Volume predicts price. This is what I always teach my students. Volume predicts price. So what is volume? If you were to sell me your CRISPR Therapeutics shares and I was to buy them from you, this would be considered a trade. And that trade would be added to the volume. So volume is the buying and selling of stocks, the trading that's happening in that stock. So as you can see, when the CRISPR IPO'd back in October 2016, it was $13, now $153. The volume was very low back then. Then the volume started to pick up in 2018, came back down in 2019, 2020 volume, and recently we've had huge volume on CRISPR. That's when I started buying it. The main catalyst for my buying it was this documentary on Netflix. I highly recommend you watch it. Amazing documentary called Human Nature. And in Human Nature documentary, it's talking about DNA. It pretty much teaches you all you need to know about DNA, which is amazing. Taking such a dense, big subject and that's so difficult, making it simplified, like I do in the Stock Guru Master Course for the stock market. The Human Nature documentary, amazing. I highly recommend watch it. And it talks a lot about this CRISPR technology and how many biologists, a lot of the world's renowned biologists, top biologists around the world, are using the CRISPR technology and CRISPR therapeutics to edit and to eliminate diseases through our DNA, which is absolutely amazing. But right now, we're not going to talk about the fundamentals. We'll do that later on in the video. Now we're going to do the technicals, try and predict the price movement of CRISPR. This is the price of CRISPR moving over the years. We're going to try and predict the future price movement. Here also was a giant cup and handle that formed on CRISPR, which predicted this huge movement up. You could have actually predicted this huge movement up with technical analysis, because this is a cup. So the way it's drawn, cup, handle, and usually a cup and handle formation, which you can see in any technical analysis teachings, shows you this massive movement is coming for CRISPR. The overall trend of CRISPR is massively trending up. The trend is your friend. We still have the stochastic and RSI turning up and heading further up. However, the RSI is very overbought right now. So that means you must DCA into CRISPR, split up your investment and dollar cost average into CRISPR. Do not put a large amount of capital in CRISPR in one go. We also have CRISPR following this new trend line here, this blue trend line here, and it is going to respect this trend line until it breaks. And we do have recently huge amounts of volume. Volume predicts price, so we're going to have more upward movements for CRiSPR. A big support for CRiSPR, we have a few major supports. We have first support is on this trend line, which will be sitting at the $115 mark. And the second major support is very strong support at the $92 mark. It would be very difficult for CRiSPR to fall below the $92 mark because of how strong that support is. And especially this support, this yellow line, which was first a resistance in 2018, hitting it, coming down, 2020 hitting it, and then breaking through. So this yellow line resistance sitting at 75 is also a major support for CRiSPR. So the overall trend in the long-term direction is trending up. The trend is your friend. CRiSPR is a buy. It is following this trend line, this green trend line, very specifically. So it is a buy in the long run, and it will keep following this trend line in the long run. However, again, we are still getting indicators of a long-term buy. Stochastic RSI still turning, heading up further higher. RSI, but the RSI is very overbought, so you must dollar cost average. Squeeze mob is still green and going higher. We have huge amounts of volume. It is still a buy in the long term for CRiSPR. Now we're going to go in a closer time frame on CRiSPR. We're going to zoom in. We're going to click 1 year down here. And now we're zooming in on the charts. So before we were looking at the price of CRiSPR on the monthly candles. What that means is each of these candles used to be 1 month on the first bit. Now each of these candles is 1 day. 1 day candle. So now we're looking at the price movement of CRiSPR for the next few trading weeks, and it does look like CRiSPR is going to be dropping. We do have huge amounts of volume recently on CRiSPR. However, the stochastic and RSI have turned to head lower, and so is the stochastic turning to head lower. Squeeze mode is still green, but it is turning to go red. So we are going to be going down for CRiSPR for the next few trading days, maybe the next few trading weeks. A big support, we have a few major supports for CRiSPR, the main support being at this $146 mark. That's the first target. And it does look like CRiSPR will go to there, the $147 mark. The second support for CRiSPR is here. So we've got one at $147 and we have another one at the $139. And then we have a major support here at the $111. So it looks like CRiSPR will be falling. First target, $149. Second is $139. And possibly, but I doubt it, the third support that it could come down to is the $111. However, very unlikely. To me, it looks like it is going to come down to this $139 support, turn, and then head up. Because the stochastic and RSI are already midway down. So it's nearly almost completed becoming in the oversold, but it can fall further. So first target for CRiSPR is the $146 mark, and second target for CRiSPR, $139. That's what looks like it will be happening for CRiSPR going into the 28th of January. It does look like, it looks like CRiSPR will hit that target, and the $139 target, $140 target around the 13th of January. That's what looks like is going to be playing out for CRiSPR. That will reset the stochastic and RSI turning and heading up. However, again, you do not really want to catch these little movements down when the overall trend of CRiSPR is massively trending up. The trend is your friend, and CRiSPR is massively trending up. So you can try to catch this little movement down from the 153 down to the 140, possibly even down to the 139, and then start buying. However, I would recommend starting to dollar cost average, DCA, especially with RSI and stochastic being overbought and coming down. Dollar cost average means you split up your capital. DCA, I teach all my students this, and they mastered this in the Stock Guru Master Course. It means splitting up your capital and dollar cost averaging, buying your stocks monthly over time, and your price will average out. So even if you buy here and it's high, but then next month you buy here and it's down there, your price will average out over time. You're buying here, you're buying here, you're buying here, you're buying here, you're buying up here, you're buying back down here, and the price over time will average out. But as long as you're entering your company that you want to be buying for the long term, and that's what I teach my students in the Stock Guru Master Course. So again, stochastic RSI heading down. As you now know, RSI heading down, large amount of volume though, so it's not going to come down too far. It looks like it's going to come down. First target being the $139 support, and the second $144 support, and the second target being the $139 support. That looks like where CRiSPR will bounce before continuing up. It could come down to this support line. That is a very big possibility. That trend line that is held for a long time. And that trend line will be the 117. That will be an excellent buy for CRiSPR at this 117 mark on this trend line. But again, for the next few days, going into January 21st, it does look like CRiSPR will be falling. However, I don't see it coming down to, it is possible, but it's unlikely that it comes down to this 117 because of this huge amount of volume. It does look like it will come down to the 139, bounce off the $139 support, $130 support, bounce off there, and then continue higher. So now let's go even closer. We're going to zoom further into CRiSPR. So we click this 3 months button, and now we're zoomed further into CRiSPR. So in the beginning, we were looking at CRiSPR on the monthly charts. Then we were looking on the daily charts. Now we're looking on the hourly chart. So each of these candles now represent 1 hour. So this is for today's trading day. What's going to happen to the price of CRiSPR for today's trading day? That's what we're going to look at. So now we're looking at the daily charts for CRiSPR. What's going to happen for today's trading day on the hourly? That means for the 4th of January, what's going to happen for CRiSPR today? So it looks like CRiSPR is trying to hold this support right now. And we have, now you guys know actually, the stochastic oversold turning and heading up. RSI oversold turning and heading up. Huge amounts of volume. So this indicates that we're going to have a buying situation for CRiSPR. It looks like CRiSPR is a buy. I do see actually a very large shoulder, kind of, it's like not properly, like perfectly designed, but it does kind of look like a shoulder, head, shoulder. So that usually indicates a drop down. So we have to be a little bit careful here. However, and it did break through this trend line that it's been on for the last few months. And this is the main trend line down here. So technically, CRiSPR does need to come down to this main trend line. But for today's trading day, the stochastic and the RSI are turning to head up. So it indicates we are going up today. The squeeze mob is trying to turn green. Stochastic is in the oversold, turning and heading up. RSI oversold, turning and heading up. Huge amounts of volume. It does look like CRiSPR is going to hold on this support at the 151, and it does look like for today's trading day, it is going to try and go up. The target for today's trading day will be this resistance here at the $156 mark. That's the target for today. Stochastic RSI turning up, huge amounts of volume. CRiSPR going to the first target, $156.91. I will be buying more CRiSPR today because I'm actually trying to enter as much into, I'm going to dollar cost average into CRiSPR. I started buying it around 2 weeks ago, or when I made that video, buy CRiSPR on this channel. You can hit the subscribe button, the bell, and thumbs up button to be notified of my daily videos. I will be buying CRiSPR, and I will buy it today. The target will be $156.91. The best entry for CRiSPR will be if it goes down to this trend line. If it was to come down to this major trend line at the $100 mark. However, because I want to enter a lot of CRiSPR, I need to increase my capital allocation of CRiSPR and buy as much of the company as possible. I will be dollar cost averaging because I see big potential for this DNA editing technology. So even if it does fall, I will buy some at the 140. I will buy some at this big trend line at the 115. However, it does look like for today's trading day, we will be heading up. Stochastic RSI, again, oversold, turning, heading up. Good amount of volume. We're going to the first target, $156 for CRiSPR. Before 160 is even possible for CRiSPR for today's trading day. Then we need to see how far the stochastic and the RSI. So I will be buying CRiSPR today. Stochastic RSI heading up, and the target 160, possibly 157, but it could try to make it to the 160 today. It is possible. If it does fall, which is unlikely because the stochastic and RSI are turning up, but it is always possible if some big news comes out for CRiSPR. The best possible buying would be here, would be a great buy at the $140 mark. And then this big trend line here at the 115 would be an excellent buy for CRiSPR for the long term. But again, for today's trading day, it does look like because the stochastic volume, big volume, we are going to 160 for today's trading day on CRiSPR. So now let's jump into the fundamental analysis on CRiSPR. I'm going to explain what fundamental analysis is. Now we're starting the fundamental analysis of CRiSPR. So what you saw in the beginning was the technical analysis, the RSI, the stochastic, the volume, the price movement of the stock of CRiSPR, trying to predict its future price movement and where it's going to be going. That's the first main way to value stocks. That's what most teachers teach, technical analysis. For example, Timothy Skies only teaches technical analysis. Penny stocks are dangerous, Timothy Skies option, so be careful on that. And other teachers like Warren Buffett teach fundamental analysis, the revenues, the sales, the profit margins, the actual revenues and sales of the company, the real world financials of the company. So now we're jumping into the fundamental analysis. We're going to look at the real world information. The technicals was the prices of the price charts, the price movements, the technicals. Fundamentals is the real world news, the real financials of the company. We merge them together, and that's why my students have made more than $300 million in the US stock market. That's why my teaching so excel at www.stockguru.us, because I merge both ways of valuing companies together to make a price prediction. So now let's jump into the fundamental analysis. So I'm in Google. I just ran up the stairs, so I'm kind of, I also went to a sleep deprivation tank today, which was a very interesting experience where you're floating in the water for 1 hour just in darkness and silence. Very interesting experience. So google.com, CRiSPR stock, CRiSPR. CRISPR Therapeutics. The NASDAQ, it's CRSP is the ticker, CRSP. I love this view behind me. This is in my house. We have there's a glass window, and behind it is a giant rock. My villa is built around a mountain, so it's very nice. CRSP is the ticker. First thing we look at, the overall time frame, the max time frame of this stock. What is the overall trend? The trend is your friend, and the trend of CRISPR is massively trending up. Next, we go to the 5-year time frame, massively trending up. 1-year time frame, massively trending up. 6-month time frame, massively trending up. 1-month time frame. This is what we want to see on every single time frame. CRISPR is trending up, and CRISPR is a buy on all the technical time frames, and that's the best indicator of buying a stock, that you match, that all the technical time frames match the direction that you're going. So the overall direction, the trend is your friend, and the massively trending up, that's what CRISPR is doing, massively trending up. It is a buy based off the technicals. The price at the IPO for CRISPR was $13, now $153. So within 4 years, it's gone up 10 times, 12 times actually. So you need to dollar cost average into the stock because it's got quite a high valuation. However, the market cap is still quite low. It's still a small cap company, $11 billion, a $10.9 billion market cap. So now we look at the news about CRISPR. We go to here, we go to the news. So the 6 best CRISPR stocks to buy today. Editor searches 50% as ARK founder Kathy Wood sees genomic stocks driving returns for the next 5 years. I agree. I also made a video a few months ago when we said stock gurus enter biotech. I see biotech as the next great revolution, the next great industry, just like I saw Tesla and EV cars and tech companies being the first great revolution. Not the first one, but the last one. That's why I was early investor in Match Group, Tinder, Tesla, PayPal, Uber, and now I see biotech as the next frontier, the next big innovation. The merger of technology and bioscience, biomedical together is going to be one very powerful industry, and I see CRISPR at the heart of this technology. So that's why we're looking into this. CRISPR is the future of medicine, and CRISPR is one stock to own. I agree, and that's why we entered this stock last week. I made a video that I'm buying CRISPR, and today we're updating it. Where will CRISPR Therapeutics be in 10 years? Intellia Therapeutics, another CRISPR technology, the smallest of the big 3 CRISPR companies, has big potential. We'll look into that company as well, make a video on that in the future. CRISPR gene editing, owning the future of medicine. CRISPR gene editing is actually quite amazing. So the way it works is they put in the DNA strand, they can find the piece of DNA that's deformed or has some problem with it that causes a lot of genetic diseases in humans. And then they can put another DNA strand next to it with changed DNA structure, and the original DNA strand inside the human body will copy the DNA from the second DNA sequence, and it will copy it across, and then that DNA will be edited. So they can actually edit our DNA now. They found a way using CRISPR, using the specific protein to edit our DNA. I learned this again from the Human Nature documentary on Netflix. Highly recommend you watch it. It explains CRISPR technology, and it explains all this information, how it works. It's a very beautiful documentary. You also learn in depth how DNA works and what DNA is. Really amazing. Human Nature is the documentary. CRISPR Therapeutics heading to $170. Yes, today probably to $160. Gene editing stock skyrockets in $1.6 billion boom after data. Beautiful. Companies like CRISPR Therapeutics are in a position to invest in growth. I agree. Even when a business is losing money, it's possible for shareholders to make money if they buy a good business at the right price. Indeed, CRISPR Therapeutics stock is up 127% in the last year, providing strong gains for shareholders. But while history lauds those rare successes, those that fail are often forgotten. Who remembers pets.com? That's a different time. That was in the .com bubble before there was no actual... This is a technology that's being used by the best biologists around the world are using this CRISPR technology. All the award-winning biologists are using this, and they're researching it, and they're using it in many different ways to try and combat a lot of different diseases. So this is very different from pets.com. Does CRISPR Therapeutics have long cash runway? So we can research all of this in the fundamental analysis. Its revenues are growing 64%. The harsh truth is that operating revenue dropped 64% in the last year. While it's quite problematic for a cash-burning company, clearly, however, the crucial factor is whether the company will grow its business going forward. How easy can CRISPR Therapeutics raise cash? Since its revenue growth is moving in the wrong direction, CRISPR Therapeutics shareholders may wish to think ahead when the company may need to raise more cash, issuing new shares or new debt. It has a market cap of $11 billion, and it burnt through $167 million last year, which means it could easily issue a few shares to fund the growth if it needs to in the future. So that's the main news for CRISPR. It doesn't seem like anything too new. It's all 3 weeks or 4 weeks old, the news. 5 days ago, this is about Intellia also. Bluebird and CRISPR race for cure for sickle cell disease. CRISPR technology can also be used to combat cancer. So we're going to keep monitoring this technology. Now let's go into my Twitter to find any more information that we can find out about CRISPR stock. Let's actually show what CRISPR is. So we type in CRISPR. Let's research if we can see any explanation of what CRISPR is. So CRISPR is a family of DNA sequences found in the genomes of prokaryotic organisms such as bacteria and archaea. These sequences are derived from DNA fragments of bacteriophages that had previously infected the prokaryote. They are used to detect and destroy DNA from similar bacteriophages during subsequent infections. Again, the Human Nature documentary really explains this a lot better, but the way it's used, it's actually in the documentary. I highly recommend you watch it. Amazing documentary. This is where it's copying and cutting the DNA and replacing the DNA strand with a different one that has been edited. That's how the CRISPR technology works. What is CRISPR used for? CRISPR technology is a simple yet powerful tool for editing genomes. It allows researchers to easily alter DNA sequences and modify gene function. Its many potential applications include correcting genetic defects, treating and preventing the spread of diseases, and improving crops. There's many potentials for this CRISPR technology. You can again watch it on the Human Nature documentary. It really explains it well. Let's see if there's a Human Nature trailer that explains like what it talks about. The internet, I've got to turn on 4G. So this is the Human Nature documentary talking about the CRISPR technology.
Mother Nature gave us something that's richer than our imagination.
So they found this protein that enables gene
very
editing.
peculiar pattern.
Never seen anything like this before.
And these are different renowned biologists from around the world that are talking about this CRISPR technology.
I remember him saying, remember this word, CRISPR.
We've never had the ability to change the fundamental chemical nature of who we are, and now we do. And what do we do with that? David's doctor told me, just hold on. There's something coming.
You can actually use CRISPR to change DNA. You can actually do it.
It's on Netflix. Human
We could
Nature
engineer a
documentary.
single gene that could potentially make us all more muscular. But should we make that universally available?
Что человек может создавать человека,
Vladimir
человек,
Putin
который
talking about
может
CRISPR.
воевать без страха и без боли. И вот то, о чем я сейчас сказал, может быть страшнее ядерной бомбы.
Amazing documentary. I highly recommend you check it out. Now let's go into my Twitter.
the heredity.
Let's go into my Twitter to find out any new up-to-date information or news about CRISPR that could affect the stock. I'm going to show you how you can use Twitter to find amazing information about your companies. So now we're in my Stock Guru on Twitter. You can follow me in Twitter. You type in Stock Guru and I'll come up, hit the follow. I've gone up around 2,000 followers in the last few weeks. So a lot of you have already joined over from the YouTube, which is beautiful. Here, this is on the top, the pinned comments. It's the student reviews of the Stock Guru Master Course at www.stockguru.us. You can take the course there, $333. Anyone that purchases it before the 1st of February goes in the chance to win. I'm going to pick $5,000 tuition to one of my students who purchases the course. So they take my course, they have $5,000 to invest, and they use the knowledge from the course plus the $5,000 to exponentially grow that, which will be beautiful to track. Nicole was an early student of mine. She was down $90,000. She took my course. She made her $90,000 back. And now in an update, she's up $700,000. And you can just see hundreds and hundreds of amazing stories from my students, really hundreds of them. Some of them paying off mortgages, paying off medical bills, sending their kids to schools, paying off debts, buying $2 million houses, buying Ferraris, just amazing stories, losing their jobs because of COVID. This is here exactly losing it. He used to play 200 events a year in Europe, lost his job, and now he's made $100,000 in profits. And you can just read amazing stories from my students, really life-changing stories and very beautiful. I love reading the stories from the students. If I've helped you make money in the stock market and you have a beautiful story, please leave it in the comments. It would be great to share with the new subscribers on the channel. This was my lunch today. Amazing fish cooked by my chef Pico/bodyguard. Amazing chef and very tasty fish, especially this turmeric fish. I'm not sure if you saw it right in the beginning. This one here, Amazing. He cooked it so well. It's superb. And then you can just see information I share. This is big for the Chinese stock market and Chinese stock, and especially Alibaba. Chinese billionaire Jack Ma suspected missing. This is very big news. The Chinese government cracked down on both his companies, the Ant Share company. So it's very big news. We need to track that, because if China is really crushing these tech companies, we need to be careful, because Baba will drop possibly on this news. It will drop even today. So be wary of that if you're in Baba. NIO to launch its first flagship sedan on NIO Day on the January 9th. We're going to track that. I make nearly daily videos on NIO. Tesla Giga Shanghai is ramping up Model Y production to meet extraordinary China demand, which is very good news for anyone Tesla long. Bitcoin now buys you a Tesla, which is beautiful. Congratulations to anyone that bought Bitcoin at $9,000 when I made that video in July at $9,000. Now, it reached $34,000. Now it's dropping back down a little bit today. And you can just see more information that I share on my Twitter. This is the live Saturdays and Tuesday nights in the Eagle's Nest. This is what the live looks like. I talk with thousands of students, and we have thousands of questions, and you guys get to talk back to me, which is beautiful. And you can just read, this is what I share on Twitter. And what you can also do in Twitter, you can go to the search and you type in Stock Guru to come to me. And you can find me here, and then click on me and follow me to follow my information that I share. And what you can also use this for is to follow stocks. And this is the main reason I love Twitter. You can just type in the stock name, search it by top search, and you're getting most of the information even before the news agencies do. And that's what's super powerful. You can follow Elon Musk, you can follow me, Stock Guru, you can follow Warren Buffett, you can follow all the major CEOs of companies. So you get the information even before the news agencies do. So now we're looking for any major news for CRISPR. So new portable smartphone-based ultra-sensitive saliva COVID-19 test with a 15-minute sample-to-answer time using CRISPR that does not require lab equipment. Amazing. Somehow they're using the CRISPR technology to get this information. Zebrafish in a vivo model, micro-injection and CRISPR. So some DNA editing. CRISPR-Cas system restricts HGT. Most strains with CRISPR have bases that target conjugation genes, limiting acquisition of plasmids and ICEs. I'm not so into the medical field to really understand all this information. However, looking at major news that can affect the stock CRISPR. So what we can also do is we can type in $CRSP. This is the ticker for CRISPR. CRSP. So we can also type in $ and look at any information. Biotech. So this is this guy's top 10 distributors for 2021. I like these companies. I like CRISPR the best. Airbnb, as you know, we've been buying a lot of Bitcoin, Airbnb, CRISPR. TDoc is a good buy. I'll make a video on TDoc, and Tesla is our main runner for most of my students. So we're looking at any major news for CRISPR. So it doesn't look like any major information, except that the ARK investment fund, Kathy Wood, is buying a lot of CRISPR. CRISPR option volume was 3 times normal on Thursday with 17,000 contracts. Call volume was 61%, put volume was 39%, indicating we are going to be heading up. This is the trade that I made 5 days ago into CRISPR. We bought CRISPR Therapeutics at 153. This is the thread I made. You can see my live trades in the YouTube membership section. You can see the join button there. In the YouTube membership section, if you join the YouTube membership section, every time I make a trade in my portfolio, you see it live in the trade, which is beautiful. So no major other information. ARK's Kathy Wood's top 5 recommendation, CRISPR being one of them, Tesla being the first, which is beautiful. So no major news for CRISPR at the moment. And I really recommend watch the Human Nature documentary to truly understand how CRISPR is working. So that's the main news for CRISPR. It doesn't seem to be any major news. So what we can do next is I'll show you the Stock Guru Master Course. So here you can go to www.stockguru.us, or you can just come to the Twitter and click on this link, stockguru.us, and it takes you to the Stock Guru Master Course page. This course is currently $333. Everything you're seeing in my videos, you're getting a little glimpse of all the information that you're going to learn in this course. It's 8 lessons that will absolutely change your life. If you've been losing money in the stock market, if you've been buying stocks and not really getting much gains, not really making much money, or if you want to have millions of dollars so you can buy opulent villas like this, and live in just luxury and be able to afford and buy anything you want. That's actually why I do this now, to teach students how to have abundance, a mindset of abundance. I'm a retired multimillionaire. I teach how to have abundance mindset, how to grow money. So even if you have $1,000 now, you'll know after you take this course, you'll know where to put it. Next year, you sell your car for $20,000, you'll know where to invest that $20,000 to really grow it exponentially. Say 5 years from now, you sell your $300,000 house, you'll know exactly how to invest that $300,000. 20 years from now, you sell a $1 billion business, you'll know how to invest that $1 billion really safely, securely. Rule number 1 by Warren Buffett, don't lose money. Rule number 2 by Warren Buffett, don't forget rule number 1. Here you can see some student reviews of the Stock Guru Master Course. This is a student from Sweden. Greetings, brought a Ferrari 430 Scudia following your gains. Chuck, thank you. I'm officially without a mortgage. Thank you, James. Stay fly. I want to share with you because I've made $330,000 in the last month following your guidance. Patrick was he lost his job because of COVID. He's a saxophone player, as I said before, 200 events a year in Europe. He's up $100,000 in profits, which is beautiful. David is up 450% of his portfolio. Brendan, love you, James. You made my life so much better. Got his course. Watch it whenever I'm free time, and definitely going to teach my kids as well. Beautiful. Nicole was the one that was down 90,000, now up $700,000. The course is $333. It will be going. My producers are increasing it to $3,000. So jump on that. It's going to slowly increase in price. Here you can read the description of the course, and at the bottom you can click the buy this button. Here you can click the buy this button. Now we have 22,000 students and more than 1 million views. So it's gone up a lot. I need to edit that. You can click buy this, and this is where you buy the course, $333, and you put your credit card information and then click pay. Anyone that purchases the course before the 1st of February goes in the chance. I'm going to announce on the 1st of February, someone's going to get $5,000 USD tuition sent to them. Whoever purchases the course between now and the 1st of February goes in the chance to win 5,000 USD. So make sure you jump on that now. So now let's go into the fundamental analysis of CRISPR technologies. So now we're looking at CRISPR Technologies. The ticker on the NASDAQ is CRSP. The last price was $153.11. The bid is $153.52. The bid is what people are willing to pay for this stock. The ask is $159, what people are willing to sell this stock at. So it does look like it's going to jump up in pre-market. We'll watch that. So this is the income statements. We're looking at the statements of CRISPR, but first we'll go into the summary and look at the overall information about the company. Everything you're looking at here, the fundamental analysis, you learn in depth and you learn to master in the Stock Guru Master Course, www.stockguru.us. So this is the overall trend of CRISPR. $11 in 2017, now $181 at its high, now sitting at $153. So the overall trend of CRISPR massively trending up. The trend is your friend. Volume predicts price. We had little volume at the IPO, now we've had huge volume, and now all-time high volume recently. Volume predicts price. Average volume is 2.4 million shares being bought and sold on CRISPR, which is beautiful. Currently, it's losing $3.25 per share, so losing money company at the moment. Market cap at $10.9 billion. Shares held by institutions, 67%. New information. This is the news on CRISPR. Anything major? December 29, filed by one of the CEOs. No major news for CRISPR. No major news for CRISPR. CRISPR has an F rating on Charles Schwab equity rating, meaning it's a bit more dangerous company because its assets are very close to its liabilities. It doesn't have a lot more assets. It's got a sell by CFRA, outperformed by Reuters Research. Market edge is along. Switzerland AA rating, sovereign bank AA, currency risk A rating, banking risk A rating. It's a healthcare company, so most of the people are saying either hold or buy. I rating CRISPR a buy on the technicals and the future potential of this technology, which you'll learn about in the Human Nature documentary. I highly recommend you watch that. Now we're going to go into the statements. We're going to look at the revenues to CRISPR, and the main thing you're looking at the fundamentals, which again you learn to master in the Stock Guru Master Course, is we want to see massive revenues, huge profit margins, huge cash piles, and growing year-on-year revenues. That's really what we're looking for in a growing company. So it is ticking the growth revenue, but 2015 it was making $0 million, $0. By 2019, then 2016, 5 million, 2017, 41 million, 2018, 3 million, 2019, 290 million. So huge jump up in revenue. Now we're sitting at 290 million, which is beautiful. However, its operating expenses, is it already profitable? Yes. Oh, wow. Interesting. It's already profitable, this company. For a very relatively new company with new technology, it's already profitable. $290 million in revenues, which is quite small for a $10 billion company, but it is growing quickly, up from 3 million the year before to 290 million. And it's converting that 290 million into 67 million of income, net profit after taxes, which is beautiful. That's already a profitable profit margin company, which is good to see. So 290 million in sales, and they're keeping around 35% of that profit margins at 67 million, which is really very good. Yes, 25% profit margins. So it's ticking the boxes. Revenue growing year on year. Good revenues, not huge, but growing revenues. Profit margins are 25%, which is ticking the box. So revenues growing, good revenues, 25% profit margins. And now we need to see if it has cash. So here we go to the cash flow statements. Again, you'll learn how to read income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements at www.stockguru.us. In the Stockguru Master Course, you'll learn how to read these income statements. And I teach you even if you're not sure anything about this, you'll learn it quickly in the Stockguru Master Course. So the net cash end use for balance for future use, they have almost $1 billion in cash to continue growing. So tick, tick, tick. It is ticking the revenue, the fundamental side of things when it comes to buying this CRiSPR Technologies company, which is beautiful. Ticker CRSP. Now let's go into a summary of CRiSPR. So in summary, I do rate CRiSPR a buy. On the technicals, it does look like in the long term, CRiSPR is coming down to that trend line and that support. But for today's trading day, the 4th of January, CRiSPR is going up to that target, possibly $160. I will be buying CRiSPR today and I will dollar cost average, DCA, dollar cost average into CRiSPR, meaning I'll split the capital that I've allocated for CRiSPR and I'll dollar cost average and I'll buy it monthly. Today, I'll make some buys on CRiSPR. You can see my live trades in the YouTube membership section. You can see the join button there. Every time I buy a stock in the stock market, I put my live trades there in the YouTube membership section. You'll see when I buy a stock, you'll see my buy price, my limit price, my targets for the trade, the stop loss, and the reasons I'm buying the trade. And you'll see that in the YouTube membership section as I make my trades live. Usually I'm buying a stock nearly every trading day. I'm buying my stocks at perfect technical entry. So I try to have immediate profits on my entries. You can see the YouTube join button there. And everything you've seen in the video, the technical analysis, the fundamental analysis, it's a little glimpse of what you fully master in the Stockguru Master Course at www.stockguru.us. If you've been losing money in the stock market, not making much gains, or again, you want to have millions of dollars to have amazing villas, be able to buy whatever you want in life and really have financial freedom. And that's why I do this. You learn it all in the Stockguru Master Course. I've had thousands and thousands of students, www.stockguru.us. Buy that $333. Anyone that purchases again before the 1st of February goes in the chance to win 5,000 USD for their portfolio, which will be beautiful. I hope you like this technical and fundamental analysis on CRiSPR. I hope you had a beautiful 2021 new year and start to the year. Today is the first trading day of the year. Yes, no, not really. No, it's the Monday, but not the first trading day. But today we're going to make some money in the stock market as we always do. My students have made more than 300 million USD. The goals for 2021 are to get this channel to 1 million subscribers. So please, if you've made money from my lessons, share my video with as many people and tell them to subscribe as possible on your Facebook, on your Messenger, on your WhatsApp. Tell them to subscribe to my channel. It would be a great help. And today, also check out the video that I made on PayPal on this channel. You'll see a video on PayPal. PayPal is immediately expecting some movements as well. So check out that video. So I hope you like this video. And this is James from Stockguru, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow.